Welcome to another week of dysfunction. Here's Jackie and Matt.
Hey.
Hello.
What's going on? Hold on, let me get somewhere near a microphone. That might help. Okay. Happy Monday.
Hello. Happy Monday.
How are you?
Really tired and not feeling great.
Why is that?
I don't know. Grayson says I need to go to the doctor because I'm pretty swollen and I don't look right. He wouldn't tell me why.
It's like the weirdest way to call somebody fat. You look swollen.
Well, yeah, no, I do look really swollen. My face is pretty swollen and my chest, and I look off.
Really?
Yeah, that's how I usually know when I'm going to get sick.
Ugh, not again.
I know. That's like my body's way of telling me, like, hey, slow down. So I'm probably going to go to the doctor's today.
I don't know if I can survive you being sick again, much less you.
That's why I'm going to get in front of it before it happens.
No, we'll be good. How's work going?
Pretty good. I've had a good day so far. I just have to close up a couple things before I go grocery shopping because I need food to be able to make for my child. Well, no, Grace is a child too.
Yeah.
Both my children. But other than that, that's good. It's Monday.
I think I was supposed to remind you to make Artemis snacks every.
I'm gonna buy her more snacks.
What does she eat?
Right now, she's like really into these sweet corn puffs, like the Asian sweet corn puffs. And then she's been eating blueberries, like dried blueberries. I should add that to my list too.
Dried blueberries.
Yeah, like the raisin type blueberries. She loves them. Like
I've never heard of this. They sound delicious.
I need to add that to my list.
I need to add it to my list.
She also eats like gold bunnies instead of goldfish. They're like bunnies because they have less salt.
Are they the Annies?
Yeah, those.
Oh, those are great. Or Anns or whatever the fuck.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, I love the chocolate chip graham cracker bites things. Those are good. And of course, their macaroni is just top notch. We're supposed to have cleaning people come over today, and they are late. They were here the last 2 months, so it's kind of surprising. Like, they had a pretty good track record going for them.
What impulsive thing would you do if you were, like, do you have a list of things that you want to do before you die?
Yes.
Okay. So what would be on that list?
Things like, you want my joke list or my honest list?
Your honest list. Like, what's on your honest list? What's it called? I forgot what that...
Bucket list.
Your bucket list. What's on your bucket list?
All right. Well, a lot of it is travel related. So maybe I can avoid that area because that's all pretty bland and generic.
No, but... So what's stopping you from doing that now? We work from home, right? And yeah. COVID is the thing. Yeah. But vaccines are about to come out, and there's a 94% accuracy rate. So what's stopping you? Nothing.
Oh. Well, there's nothing stopping me. There are things hindering me. Like, as of right now, I'm still self-employed, and I am treading water. Like, pretty successfully, but when I'm not actively like adding to savings, I don't feel like it's a good time to travel. But I could, and I should be. The other thing is, I have so many fucking plans to like vacation and travel with friends. And I swear to God, you were like the first friend I went that's actually like traveled with me out of state.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll always travel with you.
Dude, nobody.
You're not that bad to sleep with, so. Well, not like I said it's so bad.
No.
Okay. I mean, like in the same room. Like usually I don't like to travel by myself because I get really bored and I get lonely.
Yeah, but
at the same time, I don't like to talk while I'm in the hotel. So dude,
that was driving me crazy. I'm like, why is she talking to Danny and not to me? I'm like, whatever. No. It's just a fucking feeling I was having, and that's why I was
Well, we were in our hotel room, which is quiet time.
Yes.
It's like your unwind, get ready for bed, relax time.
Yes.
I talked outside of the hotel.
Yeah. No. I understand that. I just remember you're like, good night, Matt. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, no, I didn't mean it that way. I knew it came out that way, but I was tired. And then you was tired and you fell asleep before me.
Oh, yeah. I got a fucking talent, man. I could be asleep in the
this is what he did. He was talking so much, right? And I was getting really tired. So I told him goodnight to indicate that I was going to fall asleep. And I put my headphones in. And then I had a question like 2 minutes later. And he was dead asleep. Just dead asleep. I'm like, what the fuck? Then why'd you get mad at me for telling you goodnight?
Me and my father and a lot of other people in this family have this rare ability where we could be asleep in under 10 seconds whenever, no matter what.
I know, I'm noticing.
Like, even when I was doing, uppers, I would be able to, do uppers and go straight to sleep.
That's an indication of ADHD.
I had a feeling.
So, like, people with ADHD, they are more calm when they're drinking coffee than normal people, so they're able to sleep. It focuses them a little bit more, but then at the same time, it's not enough stimulation to, like, stay awake.
Dude, meth and cocaine were the same thing, unless it depended on a lot of things, but it more often than not, it was like essentially Tylenol PM.
So I was thinking about you the other day because I met my neighbors. So my neighbors, they smoke weed, right?
Don't let me forget. Oh, sorry. Yes. Go back to your story. I got to remember to finish my bucket list. Okay. Go for it.
Okay. So they were sitting outside in their patio and all of a sudden I'm like, hey, you guys smoke, right? And I was like, do y'all want to smoke together tonight? And I went over to their house. Like total strangers, my neighbors.
Did you know their names at this point?
No, not at all.
Oh.
I just showed up at their house and we smoked together. But now that I've gotten to know them, one of the guys is from Missouri and the other one is from here. They were talking about how they were both doing meth at one point. And I'm like, sitting there, I'm like, how is that possible? Like,
it's
what? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, the whole decision making of going through with a drug that you know the consequences of.
We didn't at the time, I would argue.
Sense. So you never got talked to in school about not doing drugs?
We had D.A.R.E, which was the drug abuse resistance.
Okay, and that didn't deteriorate your need for doing a stupid drug?
No, the officer was kind of seen as a dork, a doofus, and pretty much she said, listen, you do crystal meth, you're going to die. You do smoke pot, you're going to die. You drink a beer, you're going to die. And we're like, well, we know that isn't the case because look at our family. They drink all the time and they're fine. And then, so we're like, oh, so obviously it's the same thing as smoking weed or doing meth. And it just kind of ran its course that way. Obviously, we knew better than that. But you could see how it kind of just equivocates in your head. And especially at such a young age. I don't think that program, I would argue, if anybody did the research, that program probably leads to more drug usage than it stops. They make it seem harmless. And everybody that's like anti it is like so fucking uncool. The officer, all the like people they bring in to like give the speeches about like how drugs destroyed their lives, they're all just squares.
I don't think so, because when I saw that, I saw students that I knew who died from doing drugs.
Ooh, wait, we had none of that.
Yeah, like they would show the students. So I ended up being in Palm Beach for high school, like for a year or so, and they would show all the students that went to that school, and I recognized some of them, and I saw their before and after pictures, and then their death, like doing drugs and drinking, and then them overdosing, and because of lack of education, no one was able to help them because they choked on their own
vomit,
throw up, and they died. Like, that's
really sad.
Scary, but I never viewed the people who didn't do drugs as like a square.
I know.
At all. So I'm like, rationally, that makes sense. If I'm thinking of this, like, sure, it's fun in the moment, and I understand how people could get addicted, and there's a dependency, but the first time I tried, like, any hard drugs, like cocaine or anything like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't pleasurable. It was exciting because I was around other people doing it.
Right.
But when I got home, I felt like shit.
Oh.
When I did Molly,
Ooh.
I liked it in the moment. It was enjoyable. I will definitely do Molly again.
Yeah.
But I can't see myself doing it multiple times. I couldn't wake up the next day. I was so sleepy. We all slept on the floor for like a good day. And it
dehydrated,
it
depressed.
it ruined my next day. It wasn't fun at all.
Oh, you can ruin it like a couple days. I got
That one day wasn't worth the other 2 days.
That's interesting, and most people can't recognize it, or they can, and it's just not worth it. I started getting 2-day hangovers, and I was like, all right, I gotta fucking get this shit in check. That was like
that doesn't
a few
sound
years
like
ago.
fun. That's not appeasing at all.
No, it wasn't. It sucked. But I will say that our D.A.R.E thing, we had nothing, definitely no like known dead people. It was more like they brought in the homeless guy from around the corner, and he would just talk about how awesome God is, and ever since he found God, his life is so great, and I'm just like, I'm
me from listening to him as well.
Yeah. But that, every year it was pretty much the same like grouping of religious fanatics that were like, don't do drugs, go to church, and it's like, fuck off. I'd rather do drugs. I think it's less harmful. Although I don't think religion claims as many teeth, but it definitely.
That's too bad. We didn't have that. We didn't have like you had to be religious and turn to God type thing. Luckily, they didn't turn it into a sermon of any sort. But
interesting. And it's funny. I went to a public public school. It wasn't like a Catholic school or a Christian school or anything.
Interesting.
Yeah, Fender's been through the same shit, and probably anybody else you've talked to that knows me. Do you know people that have gone through or are in AA or CA or any of the anonymouses?
Yeah, so I dated a guy in high school who was in AA, and his mom was in AA for alcohol.
Wow.
He only had an issue while he was doing alcohol. So like he was a super sweet, very like clean cut guy. But when he drank, he was very aggressive. And before he got too bad, he went ahead and put himself in AA because his mom got the same way, very aggressive.
Really?
Yeah, it was interesting because I went on a trip with them once to one of their cabins or something like that, and they were drinking. And I've never been a big drinker. You saw how I was at the party.
Yeah.
I do like a shot, but it's like I babysit the shot and that kind of stuff. And I was watching them, and his mother gets very like sexually aggressive to random men.
Whoa.
And then he got very aggressive, like with his words. He got very machismo and like very, I don't know how to explain it. It was just different.
Bravado, machismo. I got it.
Yeah. So it was interesting to watch. And he's like, yeah, this is the next day he was like apologizing. He's like, that's one of the reasons I don't drink as much and I'm in AA and trying to control myself is because I can't control my reactions while I'm drinking. So I introduced him to smoking, and now he still smokes and instead of drinking. And it still gives him the effect that he's wanting, I guess, like the escapism.
Right. But no adverse.
It was interesting. Yeah. He still goes to AA. His mom still goes to AA. I don't talk to him as much because we broke up.
Right. Naturally.
But like, it's
does
he has these like coins and all that kind of stuff. These medals.
The AA that was near the house I grew up, they would give out, they all kind of give out chips, but there was a bar next door and they would give you a free drink if you turned a chip in.
That sounds
terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds so bad.
It's pretty fucked up. But this guy, so is there any chance he was one of those people that had a drug that went with his drinking? Like some people, like they're not just drinkers. They drink and then the drinking leads them to either get cocaine or ecstasy. And then that can, bring out some of the aggression, hostility, and narcissism, confidence, whatever you want to call it, bravado. Mm-hmm. Or was he just drinking, as far as you know?
He was just drinking at that time, but his mother go-to was opioids.
Oh, wow. That's a dangerous mix.
Right? Or like antidepressants, like bars or something like that.
Xanax.
Yep. And I also met this dude. He's pretty famous, actually. I met him on 4th of July, and everyone was
Uncle
like,
Sam?
No, I don't know who he was, but like everyone was around him and stuff, like trying to talk to him. He looked like this cool dude, right? Mm-hmm. And my friend and I were there, and he was just like trying to talk to us because we weren't interested in him.
Wait,
because I didn't know who he was.
Where was this in?
We were at our pool party, like downstairs in my apartment complex.
Got it.
And he was there, right? And he was with a group of people, and all these girls were like all over him, and it was very annoying. I was like, so who are you? Like, what do you do? Why is everyone coming to you? And he was like, oh, I just got off the...
Musician? Yeah.
Yeah, he was a musician, but he just got off the night show. What's it called? Jimmy Kimmel night show.
Oh, shit.
And it happened like 2 days before, and he was at our pool party. And I was like, oh, cool. So what do you do? And he's like, musician. And then he was like, he invited himself over to my house.
Whoa.
Yeah, with my friend. So it was me, my friend, and Grayson. And this is Grayson's my first apartment. We just got married. And I was like, yeah, sure, you can come over. I put the projector on. We watched a movie. We were drinking, having fun. And all of a sudden he brings up these pills, like a whole thing of pills. And he was just popping them. Just like, what? Oh, I want this one and this one and this one. And he was drinking more. And Grayson was asking him a bunch of questions because that's how he is. And he was making fun of him. And they're just like shitting on each other the whole time. And they like slept over, stayed at my house. He didn't leave until the next day at dinner because I made him breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Oh my God, he didn't leave.
And I don't remember his name.
Oh my God, you don't know his name?
No, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure I could find him on my phone, but I have no idea who he was. And like every 4th of July, he still calls us.
What?
Hang out. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
That was an interesting day, but that was the first time I saw someone mix so many drugs and alcohol together. And he snorted coke that day. I snorted a line with him too.
Wait, he just had like assorted pills like in his pocket?
He had like a whole like pill organizer, and they're all different colors. And like he's like, do you want some? I'm like, dude, I don't know what any of those things are, but thank you.
You're like, is that a Flintstones vitamin?
And Grayson,
I'll take that one.
He took some. Like Grayson took some. He's like, I'll just save them for a rainy day.
Oh
and I think we still have it in a Ziploc baggie somewhere.
I remember when my mom took a shot at me once, verbally, obviously. She was like, oh, he got arrested she was talking about one of her friend's sons. He got arrested at one of those farm parties. And I was like, what's a farm party? This was, I don't know, probably 5-6 years ago. I was like, what's a farm party? And she was like, oh, come on, with your track record, I'm sure you were at, if not hosting, tons of them. And I was like, no, I don't know what it is. What is it? She was like, it's when all the kids go into their parents' medicine cabinet and they just grab a handful of any pills they can find. And then they all just like show up at someone's house, dump all the pills into a bowl, and everyone just eats a handful of like random combination of pills. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I would never do that. That sounds like, seriously, that sounds like you're asking to die. And she was like, you did meth. And I was like, that is way different. And then I was like,
it's not meth.
It's not really though. But in my head, I was like, they are completely different things. But in reality, they're really vaguely similar.
That's scary.
Because I have no idea what's in it. So it very well could have been the exact same thing.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. I think I'd be open to trying other kind of drugs. Like I want to try a Xanax because my sister did it in high school. Such a fun one. Like she, from the stories that she's told me, she used to go to school on like 6 to 8 Xannies.
Good Lord.
And like function normally in school. Or like she did a bunch of shit that was like, whoa, baby, like that's scary.
How's she doing now?
Oh, she does no drugs. She doesn't even smoke now. She's like, oh yeah, I got bored of that. She used to smoke, which I was very surprised. Like, now I could barely get her to eat an edible. It's that bad.
Oh my God. You know, I am fucking having a really tough time getting through the edibles. I swear I will not even be halfway through what I bought when, by the time I can go to a dispensary here, like in Arizona, because we voted to legalize it. So I assume, I haven't looked too far into it. But I think that means starting on January something, if I can go to a dispensary without a card.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Lucky.
I know. So I'm really looking forward to that.
I don't know. I like the whole
meeting a shady dude like in a Circle K parking lot.
Like, yeah, I smoke daily, right? Mm-hmm. I am high after 7:00 or 7:30 my time. Mm-hmm. I'm smoking or eating an edible or something like that.
Right.
I like how I feel, but I always limit myself. I like the learning process of weed and the different strains and having different flour compared to like the different distillates that I use to cook things. Like, you know, that whole process fascinates me. So I'm super excited to see it get legalized here in Texas and hoping to own or open my own dispensary.
That would be baller. Do you test like the different like kinds of smoking utensils, like if they alter the high?
Yeah, so I have been, now that we brought some stuff back. I made donuts.
Picking up one of those things. Oh, you made what?
No, I never picked that. I need to pick that a water bong up pretty soon. But I made donuts out of cake batter for an edible, and oh my God, they were so amazing. But I made them too soft, so they kept breaking apart. I'll make them better next time. And
you need to make like a cake pop.
Yeah, that's what Habibi said. She's like, why didn't you just bake a cake pop? I wanted a brownie donut type thing.
Oh, that sounds good.
Right. It was good. I don't know what I'll make next. I'm probably going to do more teas, but with the flour instead, and kind of.
I've never had a tea before.
Yeah, I haven't either. Well, I have distillate tea, but I want to do it with the flour and see how that turns out.
Oh, it's so you just like steep it for a couple days or something?
No, you know the strangers I buy?
Yeah.
That's distillate, right?
Yeah.
I just add a drop in and then that's it.
Oh. I thought you meant like with flour. I was like, you probably can't just soak that.
Yeah, with flour, I don't know yet. I need to do more research before I look into that.
The only thing I've made with flour is that green dragon stuff we talked about. Was that weird? Like, I just asking strangers if they wanted to smoke? That's not something you normally do, I assume.
No, it's not something I normally do, but I'm trying to have more local friends.
Nice.
Because y'all are far away.
I know.
And then, I don't know. I need people to get out of the house with, you know?
Yeah.
I'm getting pretty depressed inside the house all day, every day because of COVID.
Yeah.
And I don't like going to the office because there's too many people there.
Plus.
And.
Yeah.
Circumstances. So it's nice to have a neighbor I can go grocery shopping with. We went grocery shopping not too long ago.
Wait, with the smoky neighbors?
Yeah.
That sounds like fun.
He's actually pretty similar to you, but not as funny.
Oh, thank you. I think.
He likes Asian women and he likes...
Wait, I don't like... Hold on. Hold the phone.
I mentioned that just to bother you.
I know.
Actually, no. But he does like Asian women. But we go grocery shopping to Asian stores because we cook each other Asian food. And then...
Wait, is he single?
He is single.
He's probably like scoping while he was shopping.
Oh, probably. Honestly. That's what we do.
Word.
And I went on my first date in a while.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Girl,
guy.
Nice.
He's cool.
Yeah?
Well, yeah. It's just, it bothered me because I didn't tell him I was married. I didn't tell him I had a kid.
Oh.
And most of the time I do. Like, that's the first thing I tell someone. But I didn't to this person for some reason.
Well, I assume if it was a date, you probably would have gotten around to it before it got anything near serious, probably.
Yeah.
But if your version of date means, implied hookup, then maybe.
No.
Got it.
That is not my version of a date. I thought it was just interesting. And I was telling Grayson about it. And he was like, he's probably weird because you always date weird people outside of me, which is true.
That is kind of weird.
Well, because Grayson's my main partner and he provides specific things for me and he's normal. But there is a part of me that's a little bit more awkward and more weird. And I don't know. I just tend to attract those types of guys.
Interesting. All right, so I used to listen to a lot of like Corolla and Dr. Drew, or Dr. Drew and whatever, Loveline, that sort of stuff. And he always said that when people open with like totally normal childhood, that usually means they had a super fucked up childhood. They just like have to dig to get to it. So I'm just wondering if maybe, that combined with, all those super like realistic fears, I wonder, is that commonplace?
What do you mean?
Just in his, whatever, if you want to say Asian or Chinese or just wherever his parents grew up, or raised him, is that normal for him to perceive like his upbringing as super normal? Despite having all of these fears that play a huge role in his life, which most people don't consider on a daily basis.
I guess that was normal. I wouldn't be the right person to ask that.
True. Just something to think about.
But we did get on the topic about religion and stuff. And he's an atheist. He doesn't believe in anything, right? And one of his number one fears or thought processes is about death. Like, he thinks about it on a daily basis, which I find interesting. Yeah. And we were just talking about it today. We were texting today, and he was telling me that he views it as nothingness, right? The closest thing that he had to a dream recently was just nothing, and he assumes it's like that.
Whoa. And
I obviously mentioned some of the theories that you and I talk about.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, that does make sense to me, but there's no science backing it up because his mother's an engineer, right? His father was an engineer, and it was just interesting. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I understand it perfectly. That still kind of is my viewpoint. I'm just open to, as of late, entertaining the thought of faith-based, ideas. Like, I'm okay with thinking about it now. I used to just be like, if it's not like a proven thing, I don't even want to fucking hear it, And now I'm actually enjoying just like the hypotheticals, the what ifs.
Yeah. And I've noticed that you and I surround ourselves with people who think like us. So it's interesting to see someone that doesn't.
Yeah. Really up until a year ago, I was like Jared. Well, Jared actually, I think, is a little bit more open than he claims to be. I could be wrong. No, Jared, you're welcome to cut this out.
Well, I think when Jared talks, he views all the different opinions because he has Danny. Danny provides a different opinion and insight on a lot of the topics that we talk about. And Jared, he takes those, and although he believes what he believes, he doesn't negate the others or like doesn't make us feel bad for believing what we believe, right? And some of his beliefs crisscross.
They do.
Like, when it comes to politics and all that kind of stuff. It kind of crisscrosses into everyone's beliefs, so that's fine. But he's the only person that I know so far that is able to do that. Most atheists are not capable of viewing anyone else's opinion and like considering it.
Well, I used to, I think it was a Jim Jeffries bit. I'm pretty sure it was, where Jim Jeffries was talking about how if you view like civilization or society, I guess, as being, everyone's on board a train, right? Just a imagine a train, right? And everybody that is religious and everybody that's not religious, everybody that's either atheist, agnostic, or just doesn't give a fuck or, the scientists and the inventors, they're all on the car that is the locomotive, the engine that's powering the train, pushing it forward, right? And then everybody that is religious is all on the second car, which is all the weight that's not doing anything and is just stopping this train, which is society, from moving forward. And he feels like if he were to just like grab the couple, like undo the coupling that's holding these two trains together and just lost all the fucking dead weight, we could fucking finally move forward as a society. And that's kind of what I agreed with for a good portion of my life. I was like, anybody that's religious is really just kind of fucking the rest of us. I know. It was just a thought I had for a while. I know it was a comedy.
No, I understand. No, I believed that thought as well at some point, but as I've gone along, I feel like our society has created it easier for those who would have naturally lost the natural selection process a long time ago. It makes it easier for them to continue living. Because we have better medicals, blah, blah, blah. Usually the stupid people die out first, right?
Yeah,
that is no longer happening anymore.
That's true, with warning labels on everything. And
yeah, natural selection is no longer a thing. We're protecting those. Yeah. So.
Well, hold on. I probably wouldn't have made it far despite intelligence. I'm not very handy or physically fit, but I think I would have avoided danger. I hope.
I think I would have made it. Health-wise, I would have made it.
I legitimately pondered like what I would do for a good like almost half an hour, like in a bunch of different like apocalypse type situations while I was just like laying in bed one day. Like recently, it was like 2 or 3 days ago.
Apocalypse happens tomorrow. Who would you be?
Do you want like a reference from like a movie, or do you want like just an explanation?
Explanation, because I don't know most of your references.
First goal is to get over to one of, I want to say, 3 of my friends' houses. I would probably go to Jack's.
But wait, what kind of zombies would there be? Would there be the slow zombies that?
Yes, the slow ones that can't climb and can't run. That's usually what I picture. Not like World War Z or what was it? What's the 28? No, those are slow. But anyway, and if that is not a possibility, generally what I do is I fight my other fear of heights and ladders, and I just try to get on the roof of a building.
Hey, you don't like ladders? You're dead already.
Yeah, I hate ladders.
You're dead.
I know. I don't see me making it in a lot of different scenarios, but considering I have no guns, I have no like stockpile of food. I mean, I could probably make it I could probably make it a good 2 months on food, but the no ammo thing is going to get
would be to your friend's house?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I would be the useful bum. Like I could draw up some schematics, but I wouldn't be able to put any of it together.
Okay. So I would be the one that goes straight to the store and starts raiding the store, right?
Ooh,
I would get all the fruits, the vegetables, anything I can grow. I would go get seeds. I'd be the one that gathered all the materials I would need to continue growing food. And then I would
get all the daikon seeds.
No. And then I would go and like make Grayson go get all like the bad, like all the tools that we would need for killing, whatever, just any tools. And then I'd make Habibi go to get like tents and living places, living situations. And I would also raid the pharmacies.
Yeah, for sure.
Get all the medications that I would need.
Gotta need that Xanax.
And then I would start traveling to go and get you and Danny and Jared.
Aw.
And then we would all create our own little society to make sure that we're and we would also go to the woods, somewhere relatively warm so we don't have to deal with snow.
Oh my God, that would be great.
And Jared would be a great tool.
Dude, Jared would be super useful in an apocalypse.
He's tall too.
He is. And I feel like he doesn't look like he's super strong. I mean, he looked like he in shape and like well built, but he's not like muscle head. But I feel like he could kick some fucking ass in like hand-to-hand combat.
Exactly.
I
would definitely steal someone else's car.
Would you?
Oh yeah, because we would need a brand new car in order to travel. And
yeah.
And maintenance and all that kind of stuff. And luckily I have Grayson that could fix pretty much anything, and my dad. But I feel like my sisters would die out soon. Like die out faster, my little ones.
In your apocalypse scenarios, does the internet and electricity go down along with everything else?
Yeah, but that's just because people are scared. Eventually it'll go back up within months.
Okay. What do you do to pass the time in your apocalypse daydreams?
Reading. Oh yeah, I like to read a lot. I haven't been reading lately because once I got married to Grayson, I stopped reading. I stopped watching sports. Like he made me into a boring human.
Oh, that's right. I knew that actually.
Yeah, so now I'm starting to slowly get back into reading, and then I'll add on top of that. But I'm actually going to Barnes & Nobles today to pick up some books.
I saw I found a fascinating app today. It was today. Shit. By the way, maybe I already told you. A book just arrived in the mail maybe like 3 or 4 days ago that my friend told me I really need to order. So I'm excited to read it because I haven't read a book cover to cover honestly, probably since I was 12. Now, I do a lot of reading, but it's never books. It's always just garbage online. Have you heard of this? Well, first of all, have you heard of this author, Warren Ellis?
No.
Okay, the name of the book is Crooked Little Vein.
Haven't read it.
Very excited.
Tell me how it goes, because if it's good, I'll read it too.
I definitely will. My favorite book was The Giver. They read it to us when we were in elementary school. I think they made a movie out of it.
That was an okay book.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I really enjoyed it. I don't remember anything about it. I
read so many books since then. I used to read a book a week.
Ooh. Sounds like homework.
It wasn't though, because schools, the way they set up the curriculum and books, they made it feel like homework. But to me, it was entertaining. I got to escape like the house I was in and escape the situations I was in most of my life. So I was able to travel in my books, and I really enjoyed it. I really did.
I was reading for a while. They had this series called The Great Illustrated Classics, and they all looked the exact fucking same, but it was like all the like most famous classic books, obviously called classics. But it was one page, so it was each page was either the left or the right side was all the words, and then the other side was a just awesome picture. And so the books were like thick as fuck, but at least I got a picture to go with every page, so I could my lack of imagination could have a little assistance in imagining what the author had was trying to convey. I have a real tough time with that. That's the same reason I feel like, well, I can't do Dungeons and Dragons. I've tried a few times. I don't know if it's lack of imagination or just how silly I feel role-playing with a bunch of other people.
I could see how embarrassing that can be, role-playing, but I find it fascinating how people could immerse themselves in that kind of stuff.
Me too.
I would like to try.
Me too.
I would like the cosplaying, or like I would like to cosplay. I would like to create my own movie with other people, but as a character.
That would be fun.
But I don't know if I would. I feel like I'd be so embarrassed or be anxious to even do it. So I'd have to find the right group of people to do that with.
Definitely. I agree with you on that last point. Like, if there's anybody there who I'm not fully comfortable with, I can't just. I don't know. It's funny because I could play a lot of characters. Just none of them could be like from medieval times. I can't be a Viking or a rogue assassin or a flying whatever elf, nymph, fairy. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I wouldn't definitely not be into the cosplay part.
I would be the coolest fairy of them all.
You were at Halloween.
Yeah, I was a cool fairy.
It was a dope costume. How long did that take you to put together?
A couple hours. I was working on it for a month on and off. Yeah. And Danny's pants, her shorts, I wanted them to be perfect. So I worked on it for a long time.
I've been going through all my old I've just been going through storage, just like getting rid of excess shit, right? Because there's a chance I'll be moving here in the near future. So I found 3 decks of cards that I'm pretty sure were not intended for me. Now, I'm not saying I didn't buy them for me. I definitely did. But as soon as I saw them, I was like, holy shit. If Jackie were in the cards, she would definitely want this deck.
So I appreciate the cards that you give me, but I don't play with them. To me, they're pretty to play with. So Artemis and I just look through the Harry Potter cards. She likes to look at them and point at the different colors. So on the weekends when we're sitting at the desk, I have the Harry Potter cards on the desk and I go through them and she points at the ones she likes and stuff.
Oh, that's nice.
But we don't use them. We just open them to look at them weekly.
That's what I do too, so it's okay. I found 2 fairy decks.
Oh. But what kind of fairies? I've been looking at different art styles for fairies.
So here.
It's almost creepy.
Did you get the picture of I got the warrior women deck, and one of the king of clubs or something was a goddess and named after your daughter?
Yeah, you sent me that. I thought so. Artemis, her name, it comes from
Greek
Apollo's sister. They're both twins in Greek mythology, and she was the firstborn out of the twins, and she helped her mother bear her brother or give birth to her brother. And at the time, Hera was trying to eliminate Artemis and Apollo because it was her husband's children. So she was trying to kill them or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why Artemis is named Artemis, because she was the firstborn. And we were hoping to have a boy and maybe name him Apollo or Niklaus Apollo.
Wait, what was that?
Niklaus.
Oh, got it.
Vampire Diaries. I really like Vampire Diaries. And I like the nickname Klaus. So
Klaus is a cool name. And
right?
If you watch a lot of American Dad, you'd probably be like, but
true. And I did watch a lot of American Dad, but Niklaus, his character in Vampire Diaries. Have you ever seen Vampire Diaries?
I have not. Was that the HBO show with a lot of sex scenes?
I don't know if it's on HBO.
Cute, sexy vampires. Was there a lot of nudity? Unnecessary nudity?
No.
Okay.
This is on the CW, actually.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking of something else.
And it's a book series that turned into a TV show that turned into multiple TV shows. And Niklaus, he is the original vampires, and he has a bunch of daddy issues and mommy issues, but his devotion to his family, to his brothers and sisters, even though he put them in eternal sleeps for long periods of time and stuff, he sabotages his relationship with his siblings. He still stood by the point of loving and caring and doing anything for his family. So their saying was forever and always, that they'll be together forever and always. And I like how intense he was and how protective and loving he was, but how funny and rude he was at the same time. That's what I would want my son to be like. Not daddy and mommy issues, but
yeah, all the good traits.
Yeah. You should watch the show, though. I think you'd like it.
I will.
Actually, why don't you watch it while you work? That's what I do. I watch TV while I work.
Yeah, that's what I do. Except that generally, lately, it's been not lately. For about 2 years now, it's been stand-up comedy. But I will see where I can find it season 1 and give it a shot. Vampire Diaries
on the CW, or actually Netflix. Vampire Diaries.
It is on Netflix.
And then you'll have to watch Vampire Diaries, and then you have to watch the originals.
True Blood was the HBO one.
Oh yeah, I did watch True Blood.
Any good?
It was good. I just didn't like Suki, I think her name was.
Sucky.
I didn't like the name. I didn't like how she was portrayed as a character.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening this far, and I didn't think you'd make it. We appreciate it very much. Just if you could do us a favor and go find us anywhere and follow us, rate, subscribe.
We'll be under the tree meditating.
Yes.
Go find us.
I will have a rainbow coming out of my head.
I was hoping you would say ass.
I will have a rainbow coming out of my ass.
Like a unicorn.
Yeah, like, wait, what? We're at Twitter, Magic for Humans, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube. The link is through the website on that one, which is magicforhumans.com as well. Oh, we have a second Instagram, which is Magic for Humans, the number 4, and then with an S.
Like, comment on all our pictures, videos, and download, and give us stars on the iTunes, please. The iTunes.
Yes, especially the iTunes. But anywhere you get your podcasts or podcarts, rate, subscribe, and comment, please. We will read the positive comments on air.
Ooh, that's nice.
We'll read the negative ones too, because it'll be fun. Don't leave negative ones though.
If anyone leaves us a 1-star rating, I will go and murder you in your sleep, in your dreams, and then you'll wake up and be murdered again every time you go to bed.
You'll be living the same day over and over. It's like,
but you're not sure if you're awake or asleep.
It's deja vu. And please feel free to go to the website and send in any art. Music is great. Drawings are great.
And
jokes are great.
That you find that inspire you from our podcast, we will gladly look at it, post it, or even promote you as well. So thank you very much for any artwork that's sent in.
Yes, thank you very much. Go to the website, check out our gallery there where we're going to have, featured artists and featured selected art. Also on the website, we do have Venmo and PayPal if you want to support us to get this, I guess, project off the ground.
Way. Yes.
It really does. Our editor isn't cheap and I talk a lot. Help. Back to the show. Okay, so I had to put a password on my phone again. I always take it off, but then as soon as I need to retrieve a password out of like Google or something, or a password like Key Manager, it makes me put a password back on my phone just to retrieve the password. And then I don't take it back off until I remember. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh, let's just make this one easy. Not a number I have to remember. And so I was like, plus I don't like the fingerprint or the face thing. It's just weird to me. Not that I'm like afraid of like the government, tracking or whatever. But I was like, okay, so my options are a pattern or a pin or password. I don't like the patterns because it's, again, memorization. So how about this? I'll just pick number, pin, and it could be as many numbers as you want, really. Well, not as many as you want, but up to like 12 or 16 numbers. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'll just play the theme from a song I like on the number, right? So I was like, great, I got it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to press the 9 key and I'm going to play Nick, Nickelodeon. Just that whole thing on the 9 key.
Everyone knows your password.
Doesn't matter. It's off. Well, it's not off, but it will be maybe soon. Okay. And so this was like 3 or 4 days ago. And then today I unlocked my phone, or I tried to, and it was like, please put in your PIN number. And I was like, I don't remember what it is. I'm like, I remember. I just had to press 9 a bunch of times. And I'm like, but I don't remember to what song. And then I was like, you idiot. It's not rhythm based. Like, you just press the number until it fucking unlocks. Like, why did I think that the rhythm mattered in a fucking PIN number sequence? Oh my God. I was
So there's have you ever watched iCarly or
yes.
not iCarly, I'm sorry.
Good, because I would see that.
Justice?
I was thinking of Fairly Odd Parents. No, I haven't.
No, it's a Nickelodeon show with Sam and Kat from Victorious. And Kat is Ariana Grande when she was on Nickelodeon.
Oh, no, I definitely haven't seen that.
She acted like a very dumb blonde, but she was redhead. So she acted like a dumb person, right?
Yeah.
You reminded me of this skit that they did was, oh my God, I found money. And then she went to the ATM and she goes, take me out to the bar.
Oh my God.
And then like $400 comes out of the ATM from that song. And that just reminds me of that. Like I'll send it to you. Let me find it.
Oh, that is so funny. You know, there's worse things I could be. I'll take it.
That's so funny.
All right. So I found this other fairy deck, and I remember I fell in love with this deck, except for the fact that there's one issue with it, and that's that I just fucking mistyped my password again.
Oh, you soda.
Got it. Okay, so now, good Lord. So this deck, it's another fairy deck. So with normal decks, especially ones you're going to do tricks with, the back of the card and the front of the card both have to be symmetrical. So when you flip the deck around, like you do a 180, it's still the exact same on both sides, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now the problem with this is on both sides, it's not symmetrical. So there's absolutely no way to do tricks with it. But it is still a friggin' baller deck to just play card games with. I don't know if you play any like card games for fun, like Rummy or Speed or poker. Oh no, you play a little blackjack and poker, right?
Yeah. I play a little blackjack, not poker.
At the casino or just like friendly with your friends?
With my grandma.
Oh. I was watching so the backs of all the cards say I love fairies, and then all of the royalty cards have a quote about fairies on them. So one says,
you just got me the picture, right?
Yeah. I'll just let you see it. So you just reminded me. I was watching some show. It's
very anime-like.
Which one? The second one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Silhouette-y, anime-ish. Yeah. Irreversible for sure. So I was watching this or listening to a podcast where they go over like the internet's weirdest hypotheticals.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that had me rolling on the floor was, would you rather get a really good hand job from your grandmother or a really bad hand job from your grandmother?
Ew. I don't know. I would probably want a good one so that I can get out of my mind. Right.
But then you knew your grandma was like, getting.
Close your eyes. Close your fucking eyes. Well, we are coming up on our hour, and one of the things that I wanted to start doing, if it was okay with you, is like give a quote or something that could lead us into our next episode.
Sure.
So this is something I wanted to talk about in our next episode that I heard recently, and it's about trauma. And I feel like this quote or whatever you want to call it would make more sense to you because you have a weird idea when it comes to trauma.
Sure.
I feel like you don't accept the idea of trauma.
Okay.
So this guy on TikTok, he does these inspirational or explanation of psychology, and he has a YouTube channel. So I went to go visit his YouTube channel, and what he said was, trauma isn't measured by severity, it's measured by surprise. And the example he gave was, so you're going along your day and two people get in a car accident, right?
Yeah.
The first person will get up and be like, wow, that was crazy. And he'll be fine after. Days after, he'll be fine. It was just a scary moment in his life. He survived this car accident. Uh-huh. The second guy will stand up and look back at it, and he'll have PTSD. He won't ever recover from this trauma that he just experienced. And he won't ever recover from the idea that life is so fragile. And the reason he was explaining this is everyone has their different expectations when it comes to life. And for one of them, he expected this to happen. He expected the horrors that come with life. And the other guy had such a weird expectation, such high expectations for his life, that he never thought there was so much evil that could happen or that his life was so fragile. So as a kid, when you're a kid, 3, 4, whatever your first trauma happens, you have this expectation that life is so easy and happy and good, right?
Yeah.
And one thing bad happens, and then your whole idea of life has been ruined. To you, it's malicious. People are evil or whatever it is. Like for me, example, for someone else, I experienced a lot of trauma, but I had such low expectations for life that it doesn't affect me the same way it affects others.
I totally get that.
And
like
for you had trauma and you dealt with it in a different way because your idea of life was shattered so deeply that you went to drugs or you coped in other ways than I did. Yeah, it doesn't matter when it happened. It just happened, right? And it led you to those decisions in your future. So I just
I
thought
get it.
That it'd be nice for everyone to understand and recognize that everyone has their own standards when it comes to trauma and not to judge someone for a lesser trauma versus your own trauma.
That's an excellent point and a very good anecdote.
So,
because this was intended for next week's, I am not going to say much other than thank you and good choice.
I just wanted to let others know that what other people perceive as trauma may seem so little to yours because you experience worse. Their expectations for life are just higher than yours because you've seen evil and malicious people in your life already. So telling someone that their trauma isn't valid isn't fair or helpful in any way.
And thank you, Jackie.
Welcome.
Bye everybody.
Bye.